As we travel from the Musandam Mountains at the northern tip of Oman, through the deserts of Saudi Arabia, to the edge of the Dead Sea, deep in the Jordan Rift Valley, we find a recurring pattern. Where there is water, no matter how small an amount, there is a proliferation of life. But even in some areas without water, plants and animals have somehow adapted amazingly to cope with our extreme conditions.
Arabian Peninsula is known to be a dry land, so fresh water is scarce and very limited to the mountainous area from the Arabian Peninsula.
Dry for the most part of the year, they suddenly flush with water during the seasonal rains or monsoons. A whole year's worth of rain sometimes falling in one single deluge. Some animals escape the sun's influence, becoming nocturnal to survive. Night in the Wadi brings a new insight into the variety of life found in Arabia, as a surprising range of species come out to hunt and scavenge. An extremely dangerous and poisonous puff adder searches for rodents. This Egyptian spiny mouse would do just fine.
"2,300 years ago, Alexander the Great invaded Asia, his goal to conquer the Persian Empire. We followed in his footsteps, a 20,000-mile journey from Greece to the plains of India. By the 5th year of the war, Persia had fallen and the Persian king had been killed. Alexander now set out to overrun their vast eastern empire, and he headed for Afghanistan. Kabul, Afghanistan. Our journey now brought us into a modern-day war. A crossroads on the ancient routes to India, Kabul has been a battleground for more than 2,000 years. The city had been devastated by war. Alexander wintered here in the 5th year of his campaign. He founded a new city close by, another Alexandria. One more step towards uniting the world under Greek rule. Somewhere on this road, Alexander came to a small town. To his surprise, the people here spoke Greek. As Alexander and his officers strolled around, they saw Greek faces in the marketplace. The townspeople had quite a tale to tell. Their ancestors had been Greeks from the Aegean coast of Turkey. Though bilingual now, they still kept up Greek customs. But they had a dark secret. Their ancestors were the priestly family of the Temple of Didyma, the Branchidae. 150 years before, they'd collaborated with the Persians in the hated war which Alexander had vowed to avenge. So what would Alexander do now?
From the hot desert, we move north to the cold desert of the Himalayas. You'd think nothing could live in the frozen embrace of these high peaks, but you'd be wrong. We'll soar with the Lamagir, the full length of this great range of mountains. These icy citadels are home to the Thar and Ibex. Snowcock, and that ultimate symbol of the high snows, the snow leopard. Himalayan peoples long ago learnt respect for the nature of their mountain home. These mountains of the gods give birth to India's most sacred rivers. From its glacial beginnings, we'll follow the Ganges to the sea.
He was born in the year 1881. His family were a part of a substantial Turkish minority in the Ottoman harbour city of Salonika in Macedonia. His father, Ali Reza, a customs official, taught his son to respect geographical borders. It was a lesson Kemal made good use of in later life. This made him very different from so many great national leaders. He knew when to stop. On the 19th of May, 1919, he and his senior colleagues landed in the Black Sea port of Samsun and began the War of Independence. He said, "Today I am born." He showered the whole of Turkey with telegrams. He said the Sultan was the puppet of the British and had done nothing to prevent the invasion by the 20,000-strong Greek army. He and his fellow commanders went inland to the ancient city of Amasya. They prayed in the mosque. From the pulpit, the Mufti deplored the impotence of Sultan, Khalif, all Ottoman institutions. He said the people's only hope was in Mustafa Kemal Pasha. On the 11th of August 1923, the Second Grand National Assembly was inaugurated. The Allies evacuated Istanbul and Turkish troops liberated it. The Turkish Republic was proclaimed on the 29th of October in Ankara, and Kemal unanimously elected president. The way was clear for the first, the most significant and revolutionary of all Kemal's reforms, secularism. He was not anti-religion. What he wanted removed was the all-powerful influence of the religious oligarchy on executive government and on the people's self-image. He later had the Quran translated to make it accessible to everyone. He said there should be no tolerance for those who seek financial gain from religion, which should be a direct bond between God and the individual. He and his closest advisors knew that this secular revolution would be most difficult. It called for a fundamental change in attitude. They also knew that without it, no other reforms would be possible.